Well, we've prepared a series of videos that will deal with different aspects of investing and investment planning to try to give you a basic education on how that whole vast area works. Now, this is not going to be an exhaustive treatise on each aspect of investment planning, but we're going to cover off the basics. And really, I want to refer to this series of videos as really Investing 101. This video program is going to be specifically suited for individuals who are relatively new to investing, who want to just get up to speed on some of the basic concepts. It could be young people. You might know a young adult who's just starting off in life and wants to get a handle on these important concepts. If I look at my own personal practice, many times I'm talking to people who may not find this area all that interesting, but just because of the natural transitions in life, they find that they're having to deal with these issues. And the more information or knowledge you have, the more effectively you can use your advisors. So you don't have to be an expert in the area, but the transitions in life just going to put you in a situation sometimes where you have to know a little bit about this topic. And transitions could be retirement, it could be a death of a partner or spouse, it could be helping your parents navigate the long-term care system, it could be marriages, buying your first home. There's all kinds of transitions in life that have financial implications. So if we know the basics, it can really help to make the process that much easier. We're going to have many short little videos. We're just going to deal with each topic in just a few minutes, and that way you can just pick and choose which ones you think are most relevant for your circumstances. In this video series, what we're going to do is talk about the two major types of financial assets today, and then we're going to go through under the fixed income category. We're going to talk about the role of fixed income investments, the types of fixed income, investor protection when you invest in these areas, and we're going to talk about bond market pricing. So why do we want to talk about fixed income as sort of the first area? Fixed income is referred to as bond investing, or in other words, investments that pay out a consistent, regular series of income to investors. And it normally is referred to as the bond market, or buying a GIC, or a term deposit. And we'll talk about the bond market as part of the discussion because the bond market is a huge market. McKinsey & Company, which is a global consulting company, did a study and they released the numbers back in 2011, and they estimated that total capital between stocks and bonds was estimated to be $212 trillion. Of that amount, roughly $157 trillion was bonds. So about 75% of total capital markets globally flow into the bond market. So it's a very important area, and I think having a basic understanding will be helpful to all of us. Now, as we get into this presentation, what I'd like to do is, because we're going to talk about fixed income investing today, and then we'll get into future videos talking about equity investing or common share or growth investing. But really at the end of the day, when you just separate all the fluff, the bells and whistles, all the extra information out there, there's really two major financial assets. So we'll separate out real estate for a minute. We'll talk about financial assets that typically you'll find within your RRSP accounts, your tax-free savings accounts, the kinds of assets that maybe your pension plan will invest in. And those two major assets would be, number one, loanership investments. And the second major financial asset would be ownership. So when it's all said and done, those are really the only two words you need to worry about. So when an advisor is talking to you, or a friend, or someone giving you advice, and you're not quite clear on what kind of investment they're talking about, because we throw terms around in our industry all over the place. And sometimes clients and prospective investors are not necessarily true. Are you talking about a bond? Are you talking about a stock? Are you talking about equity? What's growth? At the end of the day, the investments will fall into these two categories, loanership and ownership. What we're going to talk about today is loanership. And loanership is exactly what the word implies. It's extending a loan to somebody, or to a financial institution, to a government body, and they'll then take that money and they'll use it to fund their business operations or government programs or building infrastructure. And so it really is a loan. And ownership is what it implies. It's owning a piece of something. So today we'll talk about loanership. Under the category of loanership, we can sometimes refer to it as fixed income. And we'll talk about, traditionally when we talk about fixed income, what kinds of investments come under that category. And like I said, we'll talk about role, types, investor protection, and bond market pricing. So the next video we'll get into these categories. We'll start discussing it in much more detail.